Hello guys and welcome back to
What If?
And today we are going to be talking about the second episode. I know I'm a day late on this, but Christmas is a little bit hectic at the moment, so I'm trying to record and upload videos where I can, so please be patient. If you guys are watching and enjoying the series, make sure to leave a like and comment, and also subscribe as well. I'm going to be doing the whole of this series, and then that should hopefully lead us up to The Traitors coming out, and then Love Island All Stars, which, yeah, so if you guys are enjoying What If, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and let's get straight into this episode of
What If?
So, we are going to be looking at episode 2, and it is called Peter Quill Fights Earth's Mightiest Heroes, or something along those lines. It was an interesting episode, and once again, I feel like the story doesn't necessarily match what the title said. And the title is the thing that gets people interested in watching your show, right? So the first episode was very much like, what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? Which is a fine name for the episode. But this one, I feel like a better title for the episode would have been, what if Yondu handed Peter over? Because obviously there was a big thing in, was it Guardians 2, I think it was? I don't like Guardians 2, I think it's a bit of a piss poor movie. It's enjoyable, but it's, like, the story's just basic and a bit boring. But there's an interesting moment where where Peter realises that Yondu was meant to hand him over to Ego, and if he had, he probably would have died in the process or whatever. And we got to see what happened if Yondu handed Peter over. When it said Peter Quill fights Earth's mightiest heroes, I've got to be honest, I had no idea what that was going to be about. Like, and it didn't really make me want to watch the episode at all, which was a bit of a shame because, like, it was a really, really good episode and I did thoroughly enjoy myself. But the title was just a bit vague and a bit disappointing. I can't lie. I feel like they need to make it clear what the what if actually is, because the what if here wasn't what if Peter Quill fought Earth's mightiest heroes, it's what if Yondu handed Peter over when he should have. I know that's not a very good title, but you can word it in a way that's such. So once I found out that that was the scenario that we were in, I think the episode became a lot more interesting to me, and it opened up a lot more avenues. We didn't have Chris Pratt, thank God. But we did have a child version of Star-Lord, which was quite interesting, actually. I gotta say, he arrived in New York, burnt the place up, and this is when the Avengers started to form in 1980 something. I can't remember exactly what the year was, but it was made up of some people that, I gotta be honest, I wasn't really expecting. They had Hank Pym as obviously Ant-Man. Then they had, like, someone else called Foster who also had an Ant-Man suit, but instead of going small, he could go big. I don't know who that guy is. I feel like I missed something, or I missed, like, a reference or something. The people in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. are Tony Stark's dad, Howard Stark, is it? I can't remember. And Peggy Carter. So it was nice to see those two in a sort of just in the universe again. I've missed Peggy Carter and I've missed Howard Stark. We don't get to see a lot from them, so it was nice to see them back. T'Chaka also turned up. I think that's his name, because T'Challa was like Black Panther in the MCU, right? And T'Chaka was his dad. I could be wrong about that. But it was nice to see a Black Panther there. That was really cool. The Winter Soldier also turned up, which was, like, quite cool. I did see that Sebastian Stan was in this, and I was like, but if it's set in the 80s, I don't really understand what's going on. But Gorbachev sent over the Winter Soldier to help fight, obviously, a threat that could wipe out the Earth, essentially. And that threat turned out to be none other than Peter Quill. And I gotta say, he's manifested all of Ego's powers, and it seems like Ego's getting him to do all of his dirty work, conquering the universe. It's quite a sad story, I think, actually, because we saw what happened to, like Peter Quill as an adult when he encountered Ego, but I guess I didn't really think too much about what would have happened if he had been corrupted as a child. So yeah, it was a little bit dark and a little bit not scary, but it was like a little bit, ooh, this is uncomfortable to watch at times. The next part of the episode was basically teaming up and fighting him. There was also another woman there. I've written down Wendy Lawson, Kree Starforce. I gotta be honest, I'm not a Marvel fanboy when it comes to remembering every little odds and sods. I don't remember a lot of stuff that happens. I'm more interested in the Earth-based stuff of Marvel than the sort of space stuff. So I feel like this reference went right over my head. I have no idea who Wendy Lawson is. But she seemed cool. She had a really, really cool jet. And they went to Coney Island to fight Peter Quill. And I gotta say, the fight was actually kind of epic. It was really cool, and I was really sitting there in the episode going, oh, I'm really worried that I'm going to dislike this. But every time I was like, ooh, they came back with something that was really, really cool, and it just made me forget what the bad moments were. Like, I don't think there were many. I think there was a couple of awkward lines or jokes that just didn't quite land. But on the whole, it was actually quite good, and it was very sort of, it was written very, very well, and the animation was so cool. The fighting was cool. It was nice to see Peter Quill fighting, I guess, with sort of celestial powers, I guess. So yeah, I would say that the fight scene was quite cool. They managed to capture him in the end. I can't remember how they captured him, but they managed to bring him back to base. And that was where things got a little bit complicated, because essentially we started to find out more about sort of what Ego's plan was. And I don't really know what it was. I still don't know what it was, if you know what I mean. Like, I've now watched a What If episode about it, and I've watched Guardians of the Galaxy twice, and I still don't understand what Ego's motivations are. Why is he wanting to destroy the universe? Like, I understand Thanos because he wanted to wipe out half of the universe so that the resources could last longer. That makes sense in my brain. But I don't understand why Ego, who let's face it, already is a god and has is a planet basically. I don't understand why he is wanting to destroy the universe. It's just something's not adding up to me, and it's just a bit. Yeah, this was my main problem with Ego in the first place, and that's why I haven't treated this episode too harshly, because it's a character flaw of him, not necessarily of the story itself. But his motivation is just so shit, and it's also like MCU people. Everybody has daddy issues, and it's just. Like, I was like, okay, Tony Stark has daddy issues. Okay. Thor has daddy issues. Okay. I think Black Widow at some point has daddy issues. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then you get Peter Quill, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is basically daddy issues, the movie. And I just sit there and I'm like, oh, leave it out. Because, like, I'm so bored of the same storyline being played out in different ways. Do you know what I mean? It's tiresome, and it's just a bit long at the end of the day. So they get back to Shield headquarters, I guess. I don't really know. They weren't too descriptive on where they were. I feel like I need those little subtitles at the bottom that go and they tell you where you are. They also tell you what time it is, things like that, because my god, I had no idea where everyone was at this point in the episode. So Hope Van Dyne, big up Evangeline Lilly, although she wasn't actually playing Hope. But I really liked Hope in this episode, and I thought that she was the only person that was actually treating Peter Quill as a fellow human. I feel like everybody else didn't really realize that he was a human corrupted by Ego, and I think that was what the misconception was, until Hope worked out that he was actually from Earth as well. And yeah, that was quite a nice interaction between them. I did really, really expect Peter Quill to absolutely blast her. Not in that way. Oh my god, they're children. No, 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 no. But like, as in like with his powers. Oh my god, that was, yeah, no, that was not good. It was just a really cool interaction between the two of them, and like this is another thing. Is like it's nice that it was set in the 80s because we got to see sort of like different people interacting at different ages as well. Because in our main storyline, they don't interact until a lot later on. Even in fact, I don't even know if they do interact. I don't think there is a single scene with Evangeline Lilly and Star-Lord in the same sort of like frame. So it was just Evangeline Lilly. I meant Hope Van Dyne. Oh my god, it's one of those days. So yeah, that was quite cool. But Hope freed him and essentially sent him on his way to Missouri, which is when Ego decided he was going to turn up and finish the job himself. And I gotta say, it was actually quite cool to see Kurt Russell back as well. Like I said, I hate the character of Ego, but like because I wasn't having to deal with the plotline of the second movie, I actually did enjoy him in this episode a little bit more because he was just so evil and maniacal and like, oh, it was so lovely. But the fight scene with Ego was so cool because he managed to construct like a statue of himself that he was like within, and there was like a horde of things to fight. Thor also turned up. I forgot to mention this. Thor turned up out of the blue, and I was like, why is Thor here? And he was like, oh, the 7 realms of Asgard have been destroyed and Earth is the only one left. I must avenge my people. And I was just like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, come on. You can join in. I don't know why you're here, but like, join in. So yeah, that was quite cool to see Thor. I feel like they're using Chris Hemsworth because they can use Chris Hemsworth because he's still very active within the sort of Thor, within the MCU as in general, whereas they can't really use like Tony Stark and Captain America that much because they don't have the voice actors for them anymore. They just have like people recreating the voices. So yeah, on the whole, top-notch quality battle. It was really, really cool to see. Basically, they were overrun by like Ego's army. It was just a very, very cool battle scene, and it was kind of juxtaposed by the Winter Soldier with a sniper trying to take out Peter Quill. And there was like a nice moment where the Winter Soldier kind of changed his mind and decided maybe I shouldn't kill this kid. So yeah, that was quite nice. And then basically Hank and Peter came back and fought Ego, and there was a massive battle, and everything turned out okay. I think Ego died. It was a little bit confusing, I won't lie. But on the whole, a very, very solid, good episode. I won't lie. Like, I was genuinely surprised. I didn't expect it. Especially from, like I said, the title was just a bit dull and boring. But it was a really, really cool episode. So let's get into the scoring now. So I think I'm going to give this a 90... I'm going to give it a 91%. And I'll tell you why I'll give it a 91%. I think it had some incredible, amazing episodes. Marketed very wrong, for one. So I wasn't excited going into it. But if it had had a different name, or if it had made it clear what the branching decision was, then I think I'd be more interested. But not just that, but I also think that there was a lot of characters in this that I wasn't familiar with, so I didn't have the connection with them. I had the connection to Hank, I had the connection to the Winter Soldier, had the connection to Thor, although Thor's just a bit of a meh character. But I just didn't really know some of the other characters and how they fit into the story, or like who they were, where they... Wait a minute. Hang on, I'm having a thought. Was Foster the guy from Ant-Man 2 who was like keeping Ghost a secret? Or have I just absolutely made that up? Because I remember there was a guy that was looking after, and I'm sure he used to work with Hank Pym, and that would explain why he had a sort of a growth suit rather than a shrink suit. Is that who he is? I might have to do some research after this. But yeah, thank you guys very, very much for watching. 91%, pretty good scoring. I've already seen the next episode, which is What If Happy Hogan Saves Christmas? And gotta say, it's a doozy. It's a really, really good episode. So make sure you tune in to What If. It's on Disney Plus. It's actually quite a good series, especially if you are engaged with the MCU. If you're not, then it's just like a cool story for like half an hour of your day. But thank you guys very, very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.